reflecting back on the teams that I played for, the Cincinnati Reds from 1970 through 1976. Arguably played with some of the greatest baseball players of all time. And you can reflect back on the Big Red Machine days, and certainly talk about Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Joe Morgan, Tony Perez, individuals like that, Hall of Famers, with the exception of Pete. Of course, he's not there because of his issue with the gambling aspect, but certainly, in my mind, he belongs in the Hall of Fame because of what he did on the field. I know there's been players that had issue in the past with the steroid era, and guys have gotten caught up in drugs that have done some things that they shouldn't have done and gotten by with. But certainly, it says on every clubhouse door that you walk into that you're not supposed to gamble. So that was the case. Pete broke the rules, and that's one of the golden rules. You can't gamble. You can't bet on baseball. So but there again, you look back, you start splitting hairs, and you say, okay, if you get caught for drugs, you should be kicked out of the game of baseball. But those guys got second chances and third chances. Some guys maybe not necessarily be in the Hall of Fame, but yet they make exceptions to the rule. So in that regard, I would look on the side of Pete in regards to, that's the only advice that he had, was obviously betting on baseball, supposedly. Never been proven. There's accusations in that regard. But there's no one, in my opinion, I can honestly sit here and say this, that there's no one's going to break Pete Rose's record for the amount of hits that he got. Because there's nobody going to have the longevity that he has, have the work ethic that he has, and want to sacrifice the way that he sacrificed to get that many hits. So, something that he may never get to the Hall of Fame, but I think what would be a tragedy if Pete Rose passed away and a year later they inducted him into the Hall of Fame. To me, that would be a tragedy in itself, the fact that shouldn't happen. So I think they should reconsider in that regard, but whether or not, that's another story. Then you go on to the